Pokemon has had their fair share of ups and downs in the past few years. This comes up to a point where Pokemon keeps doing the same old thing and Pokemon fans just keep buying it. But that doesn't always happen. Sometimes we get something we didn't even think we would want. And while we're waiting for the next main Pokemon game to arrive, an unlikely new main character will keep us entertained until then. Now, since we had the game for almost a month now, I feel like this is the appropriate time to actually make a video on it. First, let's look at the box. Immediately I start getting Animal Crossing vibes. The logo is colorful and friendly, and it has a silhouette of Ditto behind it. The image gives me an idea of the top-down gameplay that old school Pokemon fans grew up on. And yes, let's get the red flag out of the way here. Game key card makes no sense to me. If they decide to do this in order to save space, why not fill up a regular cartridge with as much content as possible? Then they can have the rest be downloadable. It's gonna have a day one update anyways. It always does. And this is how DLC works also. It's not like you download the DLC onto your cartridge. It gets downloaded into the console. So they likely did this choice to save money overall, obviously. But it feels like a shame, since I know many people out there, including me, are a big fan of physical media and actually owning something. So okay, with that out of the way, one of the things that the game does well is that it actually holds your hand just enough at the start to slowly get you into how Ditto works. You see, Ditto gets inspired by various different Pokemon with moves that becomes the tools you need in order to restore the land that looks so forgotten. You start slow. You get requests that you can complete. That also goes to help you progress with making more habitats. And that way you get more Pokemon to show up and be part of your community. As soon as you learn Rock Smash from Hitmonchan, the game slowly starts opening up and you can start exploring the zone. There's a lot of people who think of this as Minecraft, but I think you're wrong, since this world isn't generated on the fly. It is specifically crafted by the developers to give you a certain type of experience within the sandbox. And that being said, calling it an Animal Crossing game with a Pokemon skin is very valid. Your villagers are kinda randomized based off what habitat they spawn in. Some are more rare than others. You befriend them and live amongst them. The game runs on a real night and day cycle, just like Animal Crossing does. And that means, of course, you should be able to skip time by fiddling with your current time and date within the system settings. I didn't do this, however, since I like playing the game just 2 or 3 hours a day and having a natural progression happen. Some early surprises happened to me when I came across these gates and the long bridge at the end of the first zone. Your trainer level is based off certain activities you achieve, and it keeps you out from these areas until you are the appropriate level. Going to the next area reminds me of the intermission buildings from Red and Blue, and I thought that was a nice little touch. Across these intermission buildings are 3 extra zones for you to dive into. The first zone that you start in is called Withered Wasteland. This is a lush green landscape. Then you have Bleak Beach, a torn down Vermilion City-like harbor environment. There is Rocky Ridges, which gives you a mountain, volcano and caves landscape to delve into. Lastly, you have Sparkling Skylands, which reminds me of Saffron City, but they're just sky islands instead. It has this iconic Sylph Corporation looking building. There is, however, a bonus area connected to Withered Wasteland at the start. A cheeky and barren looking place that is huge, and it has a lot of freedom for you to go wild. It's called Palette Town, not Palette Town, which you can rename as you see fit. This place has no story, however. This game might not be for everyone. I do know a lot of people that get turned off by the sheer amount of freedom you get in games like Animal Crossing, and that is okay. I do believe that Pokopia, or Pokopia, holds your hand a bit more than Animal Crossing does, which might actually make it more friendly to those kinds of players. What the game does really well is giving you a sense of freedom, but also has this lonely feel to it. So when you do find more and more Pokemon to stick around, it feels really rewarding, especially seeing them interact in the space that you have restored. And I think this game has what it needs to stand out from Animal Crossing. And I think any Pokemon fan would enjoy diving into this. I wasn't really sure how to really make or record this video in the first place. I tend to always stick to things I know best, and just share out of my thoughts as I see them. But I will admit, I was skeptical before the game came out. I caved on release as I had some hope that it wasn't just a game that would take me 10 hours. And I was very wrong. The more I played it, the more I felt like I had these small restoration projects. The creativity, the exploration, the joy of making your Pokemon thrive in their new home. As a comparison, I recently played Resident Evil 9, and I can easily say that game is a masterpiece. But that game took me about 13 hours to complete, and this is not counting replay value. Pokopia has me at least 70 hours deep, and it keeps going up. They are entirely different games. And Pokopia just seems to give me something I want to return to every day. And that to me shows me that this game definitely has its special charms. Oh yeah, also please like and subscribe.